Hey YouTubers, it's Mr. Booze himself, Platt here, and today I'm going to drink a Woodchuck hard cider. Actually, what we're drinking here is part of a one in a series called their Cider series, and this one is a ginger hard cider. They also do a dry hopped and a smoked apple and several in their series, but this one is the ginger hard cider. For those of you unfamiliar with the Woodchuck story, they were probably the first American producers of hard ciders out there. 20-something years ago when I first got into business, if you were anywhere and had a hard cider, it was generally Hornsby's. But Woodchuck came around probably about 20-something years ago, and they were the first domestic producers of hard cider, and today they have a long line of different ciders. They do seasonals and what have you. And like I said, this one's their part of their Cider series, and it's a ginger cider, 6.9 ABV. So let's give her a try. Alright, that's a little lighter than some of the ciders I'm used to, almost a ginger ale in color. Nice little nose, almost more pearish. Just a slight hint of ginger. Well, let's give her a try. Excuse me. Well, that is real light, real refreshing, quite effervescent with the carbonation. Just a soft hint of ginger on the finish. This is a real light drink, but real refreshing. Part of the reason I picked it out, midsummer, looking for something light, thirst quenching, and man, this nails it. I probably used a little bigger ciders, some a little more oomph. Definitely probably could use a little more ginger. But I'm going to say this still is a real refreshing drink. Very ideal if you want to introduce someone to the topic of cider, or someone that's not a beer drinker. This is something they would definitely like to drink. Even people with real sensitive or soft palates could definitely enjoy this. 6.98 BV, so it will get the job done. Overall, I'm going to say nice. I personally would like a little more ginger. Like I said, you tell by the color it's a little light, but overall decent drink. Give her one more sip. Now I want to answer a question for you I get every once in a while, and I really have thought about this, and I think I almost have an answer. I get asked every once in a while, what is the difference between a bartender and a mixologist, and which one am I? Well, let me answer the bartender mixologist thing first. In my opinion, and this is just my opinion, bartender and mixologist are similar in the sense there's no hard certification, no hard rules on what makes you a bartender or mixologist. It's not like being a doctor where you have to go to medical school, or a lawyer where you have to pass the bar exam. Both jobs, in all honesty, if you know someone that will hire you in that position, then you get the job. I will say the difference in the two is your focus, what you're focused on. Mixologists really are, especially if you're a mixologist at a large resort property or what have you, you are really focused on creating new drinks, bringing in new spirits, developing menus, doing custom things. Maybe a large convention wants a custom cocktail form or what have you. Or a bartender, at the end of the day, you're just focused on the guest. I know tons of bartenders that don't necessarily know a huge amount about spirits or whatever, but they're great bartenders because at the end of the day, they're good with the guest. Take care of whatever needs they have. And vice versa. There's some mixologists that probably shouldn't be interacting with the guest. Now, do you have to be one to be the other or vice versa? Not necessarily. A lot of mixologists kind of come from a culinary background. And that's kind of a great start because, again, you're dealing with flavors and balancing flavors or whatever, and that culinary background probably comes in handy. Where a bartender, that's not necessary. Again, there's certain personality traits, how you organize your time, handle big crowds or whatever, that become, those skills kind of become more important than necessarily the mixology part. Now I get asked, what am I? Well, even though I do all these videos and I've done USBG certification and I've taken classes or whatever, I consider myself more of a bartender than a mixologist. And I'll tell you why. I do a little bit of mixology in these videos and I've done some contests, but at the end of the day, I feel my skills are best as a bartender. And a good example of that is I feel that, again, bartending is the interaction with the guest and the performance. Being able to create a fun atmosphere for the guests, to educate them not just on cocktails, which I feel I can do, but also just the property I work at, Las Vegas in general, tell them stories about the mob, what have you. I know when I train young bartenders or talk to young bartenders, one of the things I encourage them, as much as learning the mixology and the cocktail thing, is learning the job of the bartender. One of the things I always tell them is read a newspaper every morning. Know what's going on in the world so you can hold that conversation with whoever. Know what games are on, because people are going to ask you, even if you work in a bar without TV, they're going to want to know what time the game is, and it probably helps to know the spread of the game. And just be able to talk about sports in general. Because again, those are one of those conversations you always have. Not every day's deep, meaningful conversations about Obamacare or junk like that. A lot of times you're either talking about the weather, sports, what's going on in town, especially here in Vegas, restaurants. You need to know restaurants in your area if you're not working at a restaurant per se. And I believe those are the skills of the bartender that are important. And again, that differs from the mixologist. The mixologist is creative. Now, is one better than the other? I get that sometimes. In my opinion, no, just because they're different. I know a lot of bartenders, especially, again, when you work with a mixologist on a property that is supposedly teaching, training, managing bartenders, there's that little friction. I realize they're two different animals. And so a mixologist has to do their job, but that doesn't necessarily mean they know fully the bartender's jobs, or vice versa. Like I said, a lot of bartenders I know are real good at the people part, but they probably could use a little work on their mixology skills or mixology knowledge. So that's just my opinion on the topic. If you desire to become either or, a bartender or a mixologist, there's great resources out there. The United States Bartenders Guild. They do a lot of mixology stuff, but a lot of that knowledge translates into bartending. At the end of the day, you're still making drinks as a bartender, so you should probably know that. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you have any opinions on the topic of bartenders versus mixologists or what have you, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. Or if you want me to go on further about that topic or any other topic, feel free to contact me through the Twitter page. Well, until next time, bottoms up.